Welcome everyone to the Reading Writing Corner. I am your host, Leanne. And I'm so glad you came here today. If you have been here before, welcome back. And if this is your first time, pull up a seat, sit down, and let's talk. The non-spoiler review of Yuyu Hakusho Volume 1 by, I forgot his author's name, Yoshihiro Togashi. This is part of a series called Yuyu Hakusho. So there are 19 books in it. And I don't have all 19, but I want all 19. Because this is my favorite. Besides another one. But I'm not going to tell you about that one. I'm looking at it right now. And there are over 90 books over there. So. About this series. Yeah, Delinquent's gotta do what he's gotta do. In the afterlife. Dun dun dun. What made me read this? Nah, manga. It's not a book. Manga. I watched the anime and I fell in love with Yusuke. And his heart of delinquent gold. Okay, the blurb for the back of this book. Manga. Yusuke Urameshi was a tough teen delinquent until one selfless act changed his life by ending it. When he died saving a little kid from a speeding car, the afterlife didn't know what to do with him, so it gave him a second chance at life. Now Yusuke is a ghost with a mission, performing good deeds at the behest of Botan, the spirit guide of the dead, and Koima, her pacifier-sucking boss from the other side. But what strange things await him on the borderline between life and death? Dun dun dun. I like that picture of him back there. Rawr, I'm a ghost. And yes, this is the manga, so it's read like this. Like this. You start here, you go here, and you come down here, and you read all this. Goodbye, material world. Yusuke is a troubled teen with a heart of gold that he keeps caged in order to survive the punks that want to beat him up and treat him like trash. His heart caused his death, but also gave him an unexpected bonus, a chance to return to life. And have a new life. The setup of the characters is slow going as not everything has been completely set up, such as there are three other main characters within this story that you'd actually this manga story that you don't get to meet until later chapters, later manga volumes. And so the setup is still going. The whole plot and everything is still being set up. You don't really know anything besides the fact that Yusuke is dead. We know next to nothing about Keiko and Atsuko, who are also introduced into this manga. We barely get a glimpse of Kuwabara. Yusuke, his setup was more complete, but we do not know everything about it. Right now, we know enough to understand their motives for Volume 1. The characters react to the situations in a way that I believe they would. Single mother, friend to someone who fights, and a young man who believes the world is out to get him. AKA delinquent. The genre is considered to be fantasy manga. Did this live up to my expectations? Yes! I watched the anime and the manga is even better because the anime changed things and not for the better. Especially the American version. He's supposed to smoke cigarettes. And he's chewing gum. Yeah. And he cusses a lot. Because he's a delinquent. You get to know Yusuke even better in this volume than in the first few episodes of Yu Yu Hakusho. And that's what I really like about it. Is that you get to know more about Yusuke's heart of gold and the way Yusuke operates in this manga volume than you do in the actual anime. Which character did our lady suit the most? Keiko. Why do we befriend people with troubled past? Why? What secondary character stood out the most? Kuwabara. Picking fights he knows he cannot win. Because he's never won against Yusuke, but he keeps picking fights with Yusuke. Why? What was more important, the characters or the plot? The characters are more important than the plot because Yusuke is the plot. But yeah, no. The plot within this one is just setting up everything. The overarching plot for the whole series is the characters are more important, okay? Because everything revolves around Yusuke. It's all about him. This is a manga, and thus there is no way to tell whose voice it is that is telling the story. You have a narrator. You have Botan. You have Yusuke. I mean, most of it's from Yusuke's point of view, but a lot of it's got narrative. The mangas have narrators. Okay. Is it a narrator? Is it Yusuke? Is it a third person point of view? Who knows? Only the author does. It did not affect my reading at all. Not knowing how many point of views it has in here, or whose point of view it is. Should you go and read this manga / series? Yes! If you like fighting scenes, redemption arcs, hearts of gold, closely guarded, a misunderstood delinquent, spirits, demons, spiritual world, human world, a character that died and came back to life. Come on now, read it. And that's the end of this non-spoiler review. If you think I deserve a like, a comment, or even your lovely subscription, will you please drop it up down below as you vamoose, or if you want to stay and receive more, please. All the help you can give me will be helpful. And I just saw this dirty ass thing. Yeah, how did that get like that? You know, I don't know. I don't know. I give up on that stuff. I can give up on it. In this manga, you meet some of the main characters, side characters, and important main characters, but not all of them. Not all of them. Okay. You meet Yusuke Urameshi, 14-year-old main character of the story. He died saving a young boy from being hit by a car. He is offered a chance to return to life because he was not meant to die at that time. Thus, it changes his life forever. You meet Urameshi Asuko, Yusuke's mother. She had Yusuke when she was 15, had to work to support them, and had to drop out of school because her parents kicked her out and did not support her out, nor did Yusuke's father. Anyway, shape or form. You meet Yukimura Keiko, Yusuke's childhood best friend, who is the love of his life. And the one he wants to marry. You meet Kuwabara Kazuma, a punk of Sarayashiki High School that loved to pick a fight with Yusuke, a fight he has never won, and probably never will. Ever. You meet Botan, a Grim Reaper that helps Yusuke return to life. And I don't know why I'm holding it that way, because you should be this way, because this is a cover. You meet Koema Jr., the son of King Enma, and the one that Yusuke deals with about his return to life. Then you meet Takanaki Sensei, the only teacher that cared about Yusuke in his schooling. You meet Masaru, the young boy that Yusuke lost his life to save from being hit by a car. And actually, Masaru would have had a couple less scratches, and that's it, because the car would have totally swerved and missed him. So Yusuke really did die for nothing. King Enma, king of the spirit realm. You get to briefly know about him. He does actually appear later on, but you get to hear about him. You get Mr. Yukimura, who does never ever get a first name. Keiko's father and the owner of the Yukimura Diner. You get Mrs. Yukimura, Keiko's mother and the owner of the diner. They are both cooks for it as well. You get Keiko's friends. You never learn their names. They are scared of Yusuke and believe the rumors over Keiko. That he's the king of a mafia and has thousands of people that he commands and that he likes to kill. You meet Shota in this one. He's a young boy whose dog died, and Yusuke helped him move forward in his life and realized that he could not allow the death of his dog to hold him back in any way, shape, or form. Okay? You meet Sayaka. She was a ghost girl that had died because she was sick. She had been stuck in one place because she wanted to say sorry to her boyfriend for not showing up. When she finds out that her boyfriend did not really care about her and moved on and didn't even know she died, Yusuke shows her a time of his life and gets a little bit of revenge for her because, I mean, like, he's like, you dick. You shouldn't have done that. You should have supported her. You should have known. I mean, he sits there and helps Shota. He helps Sayaka. He supports Kuwabara by helping him learn information so that way his best friend Kuwabara's best friend Okubo does not get to lose his job that he helps work to support his family as his mother's sick and can't work right now, and he has siblings at home, and he needs to work to be able to support his family after school. Akashi sensei, he was a teacher that hates Kuwabara and Yusuke and will do anything to make their lives miserable. Another sensei, I don't remember his name, and I didn't get to see it in here, also loves making people's lives, delinquents' lives, miserable because he believes they should all drop out of school and stop bothering their school and bringing down their GPA. With Akashi sensei. Then you have the, that's it. Okay, so you have the River Styx, which is shown here, the Spirit Realm, where the spirits live, and Botan is the ferry that goes between both worlds. Yeah. Who knows how many POVs are in this manga? One can never truly tell. My favorite character is, of course, Yusuke. He's a tough punk that is very protective of those that he considers his friends and family. Like, first he's like, nobody will care if I died. But when he finds out that Keiko's devastated, Kuwabara, who he fights and doesn't really actually care for at first, is devastated. And that his mother, who he thought would not care or notice that he was gone, was extremely devastated. And then he learns about Masaru, who wanted to play with him. And didn't get a chance to. And he's like, okay, give me a chance to come back to life. My most disliked character was Akashi sensei. He showed no sadness for the death of a student and even tried to get several expelled and risked one of the students' job to support his family. Like, terrible person. Okay, it was told in chronological order except the very beginning, which starts with a flashback on how the main character died. It was appropriate language for the target audience, which is for teens and ups. Yeah, it's for teens and ups. Should have been rated more than that, but you know, that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. Okay. There is some foreshadowing on what might happen in future manga volumes. There is suspense in Yusuke's life and death situation. Like, is he gonna come back to life? You don't know, because the end of the book is him having to go back into his body because he has to recharge it, or else the body will die for a little bit, and you know, he's having the grand time of his life. The background is explained enough to understand for this manga volume, but there will be more background in it, I believe, and there will be more stuff expanded. Yay! In the next one. The title of the manga means Ghost Files, or Poltergeist Report. Yuyu is means for playful ghost, or poltergeist, and Hakusho literally means white paper, which is files. The cover of the manga is Yusuke with a hitai katsukushi, a traditional piece of headgear for Japanese ghosts, and is used to adorn the dead during Buddhist funerals. And there is also Keiko on the front. She's smaller than Yusuke, as you can see, and in front of him. And he's looking back at her with a fond smile. Oh, looking down. Fond smile. What stood out memorable was that no one believed Yusuke could do such a kind act to save a child from death besides Keiko. Like, Kuwabara didn't believe it. Asuka didn't believe it. His teachers didn't believe it. Botan didn't believe it. The underworld didn't believe it. Nobody believed it but Keiko. But he really had a heart of gold. I mean, maybe Asuka should have, because one time when he fell in the river and got sick, and Keiko came over and worried about it, he actually stood up and like the next day and went back to school so that way Keiko wouldn't worry about him being sick, even though he was still miserably sick. He toughed it out for her because he didn't want her worrying about him anymore. Like, how could you not see that he has a heart of gold? My favorite passage from the story is, "You, little idiot, you were just telling me off as usual. Don't cry. Don't cry over something so stupid." Yusuke is telling Keiko in her sleep that she shouldn't cry about his death because it was stupid. Of course, he admits it was stupid. And that he's going to come back. She doesn't need to worry. She doesn't need to blame herself for his death because she thought she was, you know, and she was trying to blame herself for his death, and that's nothing she needed to do because it wasn't her fault. My favorite quote: "I didn't do anything worth anyone's thanks." He's saying that he didn't save that little boy. He didn't believe it was worth anything. It was something that you should have done, and he didn't think it deserved thanks or praise or appreciation, because he didn't think his life was worth anything at all. What I thought about the ending of this volume: Yusuke is out having fun for a day, and his best friend is in trouble. I think that you need to resolve that, Yusuke. That's what I think at the end of the volume. Why are you having fun while your best friend Keiko is being assaulted by punks? Okay? What are you going to do in the next volume, Yusuke? It's a good cliffhanger, and I want to read more. I'll put it the next volume soon. What book, anime, or manga did it remind me of? It reminded me of the Bleach manga. With Ichigo, my beloved Soul Reaper. Or Detective Conan. Shinichi, my favorite detective. This is my favorite spirit detective. Okay? Just make sure you understand. This is my favorite spirit detective. Conan is my favorite detective. And Ichigo is my favorite Soul Reaper. Okay? Got it? Then of course there's Rimuru, my favorite slime. And then of course there's Sung Jin Woo, my favorite hunter. Then Arthur. He's my favorite magic user. Oh my god, there's just so many going on. Anyways, this manga is part of a series called Yuyu Hakusho, and it is the first volume out of 19. I wish there was more. I wish that there was more, but at the time that he was doing this, Yoshihiro Togashi, he did not understand how to make his work life better for himself. He does have another series out called Hunter x Hunter, where he actually is doing better and maintaining his health better, but I really wish he would come back to this and continue it, because I think it should have had more. Because the ending of it was really not the best, and I wish he would go back and redo it. Alright, this A5. It is a beautiful masterpiece of a punk and his redemption arc. Now he proves that he is actually worth something to the world. So if you think I deserve a like, a comment, or even your lovely subscription, if you think Yusuke deserves more, drop it down below. I will see you next illusion.